with Whikito for our third video update. This little guy has been such a pleasure to work with. Super fun puppy, just an excellent temperament. He's coming right along. He's got a great foundation for you guys. You know, pretty much from the get-go, he has not had one accident in his crate at night. So he's definitely gonna have that down for you. I mean, I don't think, maybe once or twice, maybe he urinated, but really, every single night, sleeping in his crate. Usually 7 hours, 8 hours is kind of the max time that I leave them in there overnight. So as long as you kind of stick to that time frame, I think you're going to catch the pottying fine. You know, I make sure to not feed them. So the schedule is, I usually feed around 6 p.m. their dinner, and then that'll give them nothing after 6. So that no food anyways after 6, and that should give plenty of time for him to potty before bed, which is usually around like 9 or 9:30, and then it's usually about 7 or 8 hours from bedtime that I get them out in the morning. So that's working really well for him. Let's see what else. You're gonna see a lot of it on the video. So the leash walking is coming along great. I like to use a slip leash, which I think I may have sent you the link for a slip leash. I prefer those over a collar and a leash, which are two separate items. Just because the slip leash, he's not going to be able to pull out of it. So you'll be able to see that in the video a little bit, and we can talk about it more when you come to pick him up. But that's going great. Manding, everything else is just going absolutely fantastic. He's offering behaviors. He really looks to the handler, and he really wants to please. So he's got a great start on him. I'm super excited for you guys to come work with him. So for pickup day, it might be a good idea if there's something in particular that you would like to work on, or I'm going to encourage you guys to get hands-on and we can cover some things, but be thinking about what it is you might want to cover. Kind of make a priority list, because when we meet, he's going to be in a new environment, and he's still very much a puppy, so our attention span might be small. So if there's something really particular that you'd like to touch on, we'll try and do that first, and then see how much extra we can do after that. But pretty much anything that you've seen on the videos is what we can cover. If you have any other questions or anything else in mind too, let me know. Happy to go over whatever it is that might help you. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm really excited for you guys to watch it. And as always, let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and we'll plan on seeing you guys. I think we're saying the 10th. So I've got that on the calendar, and it'll be here before you know it. All right, thank you. Okay, so I also wanted to show you that how he's been doing with the Dremel, and he's also now fairly accustomed to being up on the grooming table. So which is a good thing for them to start getting used to. I highly recommend a grooming table, especially if you're going to be doing the grooming yourself. Even just for nail trims, it can be helpful, and brushing out. They're not very expensive. You can get them on Amazon. I have a couple grooming tables. This is one of the very first tables I ever got. I've had it for such a long time, and it was an Amazon special, and it's actually held up pretty great. But there's different kinds you can get. It does have this grooming arm and a grooming noose that you can put over the dog's head, which or around their neck more so, and it just helps keep them stabilized. I generally don't put puppies this young in the grooming noose unless I'm going to be here with a hand on them at all times, just because they're so wiggly. You know, it wouldn't take much for them to want to, you know, stumble off the table, and then they're gonna noose themselves. So we don't want to do that. But so right now, I pretty much just stand here with him. Hi, and he's doing pretty well. So I'm gonna turn the Dremel on, and I just kind of keep my, I know it, my body on him. And so he hasn't had this done in about a week and a half. And this is usually how he starts. So I just kind of hang out here with him for a second. There we go. Good job. Hi. Yeah. Oh, you're so good. Yeah. Good job. But there, I got one. I got his back paw done. Doing the fronts now. Hi. Let's go. Let's go. Where are you going? Uh-oh. So if he gets really fidgety here, I just hang out with him for a minute. Hi. You alright? Yeah. No. He's like, I want to get down and run. He can see his buddies running around over there. But he's doing relatively well for his age. Now he's starting to calm down a little. So, you know, you just kind of take your time, and he's like, oh yeah, you take your time, and you don't necessarily let him get away with it, but you don't have to rush it either. You saw how just taking that couple extra seconds, and now he's kind of just calmed down to the idea. I got 2 more nails on this leg, or on this paw. You're falling down. You're falling down. But I like to have them, their backs against me here, so I can use one arm and then my body to kind of help keep them where I need them to be. I need to get this back leg here. So here we go. Giving me an ear cleaning. There we go. So all of his nails are trimmed now. You know, he definitely needs his nails trimmed about every week and a half. They actually grow relatively quickly. So we definitely want to keep the nails nice and short, especially, well, any dog, especially on a growing puppy. Just so they don't have anything getting in the way of their legs and joints and stuff as they're growing. And it's just, that's just keeping a healthy dog, is keeping a nice short nail. Keeps them very comfortable, but he's doing really well with that, and he's doing pretty good. I can check his gums like that, and ears. Hi. Oh, you're so cute, aren't you? But yeah, and you can see, I mean, he's pretty comfortable up here on the table. So that's coming right along, no problems here. Just keep up on it, just like everything else, like the foundation is there. You know, I hope that, you know, you seeing him having it done will give you confidence, like when he starts wiggling like he did in the beginning. Just kind of hold him steady, no big deal. Just wait it out for a few minutes and then get right back on it and trim the nails. Don't let it scare you. Don't let it think that he's not ready for it. Completely fine. That's just being a puppy and just kind of being fussy at times. But no, he's doing fantastic. So that's where we're at with the nail trims, the table, and the body handling. Good boy. That was very good. Good job, buddy. All right. Okay, so this is an example of what to expect when you're approaching him in a pen or don't want him to jump. You simply just ignore the jumping behavior, and he knows that sitting does get him a reward and does get him attention. So I'm clicking when he's sitting and looking at me nicely. Now if I were to give him a treat and then he would jump, I would simply just stand here and wait for him to sit and then click and reward that. So, I mean, he's still very much a puppy, but there, that approach and retreat was good. He just stayed sitting. So that was very nice. But he's still very much a puppy, so, you know, he's gonna, especially when he's excited and all of that, you're gonna see a little more jumping. I mean, it's just what puppies do. But I promise, if you can keep this up as an adult, he will not be a dog that will jump. As long as you are, as you and everyone in the household is consistent with, you know, waiting for him to sit before you reach down and pet him, or pick him up, or whatever it may be. I mean, he's already got the foundation for that now you just have to continue it. You know, he's going to be a very, very lovely adult. So, and again, hands behind the back so he doesn't see you approaching with treats. Again, that way, you know, if I didn't have treats, I can pretty much create the same picture here for him, whether I've got something or not. So the same thing would go. So if I was going to pick him up out of the pen, I would approach, make sure he sits. Now sometimes when you start leaning down, they want to jump up. So when I start to lean down, if he jumps up, I'm just going to stand back up and start over. So because what that's doing when he's jumping, as I'm coming down, he's getting the reinforcement of touching and interacting with me. So we want to really make sure he understands that he only gets that interaction when he's sitting or all 4 feet are on the ground. So there he did really well. So he didn't jump at all. So this is perfect. This is exactly when you want to pet him, when he's sitting here like that. I almost wish he would have jumped just for the sake of the video. But I'm sure on pickup day, he'll probably be a little excited. So if I got down this far and he started jumping, I would just stand back up, wait for him to sit, try again. And then sometimes it takes multiple times of you just barely leaning down, then you got to stand back up, and then you try again, you got to stand back up. And eventually he figures out, you know, he's not going to get that interaction until he's sitting. So now he's laying down. I can't really grab him right now. So once he's sitting, then it makes it easier for me to reach down, pick him up. Although I will say he's pretty large. I don't think you're going to be picking him up much longer. But that's just a good example of what to expect. Now, I'm going to grab a bowl over here with some food in it. I should have had it ready. Let's see. So this is the same thing, you know, for dinner time or whenever you're putting something on the ground for him. So I've got some food in here. So wait till he sits. He's sitting nicely. Oh, he's jumping. Wait till he sits. Good boy. I'm going to start to lower it. He's not jumping, so I can place it on the ground. So it's the same thing. If I was to start to place that bowl down, if he started to jump up to get the bowl, I would just quickly lift it back up and make sure he doesn't get anything. No rewards for jumping, right? Only gets a reward for when he's sitting. So this is something you can practice, or just, you know, every feeding session, just have these expectations. So I'm going to approach step 1. I'm going to wait for him to sit. He's sitting. I'm going to start to lower the bowl. He's still sitting, so he can have it. So he's learned, you know, from early on gets him things. So, I mean, really, your job should be fairly easy. You can see that approach. He gets excited, but you just ignore it. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait until he sits. Here, he sits. Slowly start to lower the bowl. He stayed sitting so he can have it. So this hopefully gives you an idea on some expectations that you can definitely have with him. The other piece to this applies. I mean, I pretty much have the puppies sitting for everything. So anything that we're going to be doing, or I always have them sitting. So same thing for opening and closing doors. So, you know, in and out of your house door, have the puppy sit before you open the door. It's the same kind of thing here. Like, I have them wait, you know, eventually. We haven't been waiting in the crate yet, but like when you open the crate door, have them wait before they come out. Don't just have them pushing on the door to come out. Same thing for the playpen. This is an excellent place to start. Can I unlatch the door without him jumping and getting excited? And if he's going to sit there like a good boy because it's unlatched, I'll click and give him a treat. And as long as he's sitting, then I will open it and he's welcome to come out. He doesn't want to come out. Here. So, did you see it? Down there. On the ground. So things just for you to, you know, keep in mind that, you know, have some expectations. I mean, he's a puppy, but you can give him, you know, these expectations of behavior that's going to transfer really well as an adult. So again, if you had the leash on and you were going to take him outside, I have him sit, and it's not a command. You just wait for them to sit. And sometimes once they're sitting, you go to put your hand on that doorknob and then they stand up and they get excited and they jump at the door. That's your stopping point. Take your hand off the handle, wait for them to sit. Maybe you give them a little food reward for sitting. Approach the handle again. If they're still sitting, next step, turn the handle or push on the handle. If they start to jump, that's your stopping point. Go back. Wait for them to sit and then give them a little food reward. Approach the handle. Are they still sitting? Good boy. You know, then turn the handle. Are they still sitting? Slowly open the door. Are they still sitting, or do they get excited? Just break it down into little steps like that, and they soon, very quickly, figure out what the expectation is. So it would just be like this. I'm going to approach. He didn't get excited for that, so I'm going to go to the next step. I'm going to unlatch. He's still sitting. Put my hand on the door here. He's still sitting. So then I'll open the door and reward him. He's being really good about not wanting to come out, but really, I mean, practice these things at home. They're phenomenal little things that you can do. Creating some structure, you know, and expectations is really going to help him respect you and be a lovely dog to have in the house. So no, he's doing fantastic. I think that was a pretty good example there. And these are just things that, you know, you might not even have to set up a specific scenario for this. These are just things that you're going to be doing daily when you're taking care of him. So, you know, just take a couple extra seconds and take your time to, you know, work with them and reward them for the behavior you want. And it really will go a long ways. Okay. Okay, so here we are getting started with our leash walking, and usually I will do a bit of manding like you see here. I'll put the leash on and then just have him sit and give me some eye contact before we just start taking off, just to kind of it helps me get an idea on where he's at, you know, if he's thinking about me or if he's kind of worried about his environment. And once that checks out, then we go ahead and start to go for a walk. So he's doing really well. He naturally from the beginning wasn't a huge leash biter or anything like that. He might do it occasionally, but nothing really super notorious to kind of work through in the beginning. Just more so getting him comfortable with it. Oh, yep, and see there he bites the leash, and I said he's not a big leash biter, but really he doesn't bite the leash all that much. And if he does, I really don't do anything about it. I mean, they're puppies. They're gonna bite and play things that are rubbing on them and things like that. You just kind of ignore it. And again, kind of the whole bit of all this training is, reward the behaviors that you like and ignore the behaviors that you don't like. So when we're walking here, I will do several stops, and when I stop, I would like him to stop with me and be aware that I have stopped moving. Ideally, I would like him to sit and give me eye contact. But if he doesn't sit, that's okay. If he stops and looks at me, I will reward that. And eventually he will sit every time. New environments, different distractions. Sometimes with puppies, don't expect every single piece to come together. Just as long as he's not pulling on the end of the leash, I mean, that's really great. If he wants, as long as he's giving me some sort of attention, I'm going to try and capture that. I do have the clicker, and I'm clicking when I like the behavior I see, and then giving him a treat. Now, I'm kind of holding my hand up just to keep the leash from dragging in front of him or getting his feet tangled. You can see the slip leash is nice and loose around his neck. If he were to get to the end of the line, it will tighten, and so it would be harder for him to escape. And that's why I kind of prefer the slip leashes. Generally they're pretty safe, and helps keep the dog connected to you, and they don't escape you. But you can see here, even being a little distracted with the cameraman there, he's doing a good job at focusing back to me. He's doing a really good job with my changes of direction. He's following along. I'm not having to pull on him. And that's another time you can offer a reward too. It's not just offering the reward when we stop, but maybe if he was really struggling to follow along with me, if there was a moment that he was following along nice and loose and keeping up with me, I can click while he's in motion like that. But he did a really good job there. I hope that gives you an idea on where he's at. And keep up with a few of these formal training sessions every day, and you'll be off to a good start.